The massive alien ships filled the sky, casting long shadows over cities and landscapes. Their metallic surfaces gleamed with an intimidating precision that spoke of technological superiority beyond human comprehension. Captain J. Park stood on the central command bridge, his eyes fixed on the holographic displays tracking the approaching Zorn Confederacy fleet. Earth's defense systems were minimal compared to the overwhelming alien presence. Radar screens buzzed with activity, showing hundreds of spacecraft positioning themselves around the planet's orbit. Military installations worldwide went into high alert, knowing that this moment would define humanity's future. In Seoul, military commanders gathered around communication terminals. The room was tense, filled with a mix of fear and determination. Young officers checked weapon systems, while senior strategists analyzed potential defense scenarios. They knew the Zorn had already conquered 12 different civilizations across the galaxy, each surrender swift and complete. "Incoming transmission," announced a young communications officer, her hands trembling slightly as she adjusted the frequency. The alien voice crackled through speakers, deep and mechanical. "Inhabitants of Earth, your resistance is pointless. Surrender is the only logical option. We offer terms of peaceful occupation." J. Park studied the transmission carefully. His years of military training had prepared him for complex negotiations, but this was different. The Zorn didn't understand human spirit, something no technological advancement could measure. Satellite images showed massive motherships positioning themselves strategically around Earth's atmosphere. Each ship was larger than multiple city blocks, equipped with weapons that could potentially obliterate entire continents. Their technology suggested centuries of advanced warfare experience. In military bases across different countries, soldiers prepared for what seemed like an impossible defense. Tanks rolled out, fighter jets were readied, and naval fleets positioned themselves strategically. Yet everyone understood that conventional warfare would be futile against such advanced technology. Scientists worked frantically in underground research facilities. They analyzed the limited data available about the Zorn's previous conquests, searching for any potential weakness. Computer screens displayed complex algorithms and potential defense strategies, each more desperate than the last. The alien fleet began sending precise communication signals, demanding immediate planetary surrender. They outlined the consequences of resistance: complete destruction of infrastructure, elimination of leadership, and total subjugation. J. Park knew this moment would define human history. He had studied the reports of other civilizations, how they collapsed quickly, how their resistance crumbled under technological superiority. But humans were different, unpredictable, resilient. Global communication networks lit up with emergency broadcasts. Leaders from different nations held emergency meetings, understanding that for the first time in human history, global unity was not just desirable, but essential for survival. Military satellites detected the first wave of potential attack formations. The Zorn were methodical, positioning their ships with calculated precision. They expected surrender, perhaps even a quick capitulation like previous planetary conquests, but they didn't know humans. In command centers worldwide, a silent understanding emerged. This was not just a battle for territory or resources. This was a battle for humanity's right to exist, to determine its own future. J. Park's HFY, the Zorn never expected humans to fight back with such creativity. Within days of their initial invasion, small human teams began developing unconventional warfare strategies that confused and frustrated the alien military commanders. Hoon Kim, a military strategist with an unusual background in computer programming and psychological warfare, gathered a team of experts in an underground facility. They weren't traditional soldiers, but a mix of hackers, engineers, and tactical experts who understood that traditional warfare would fail against the technologically superior Zorn. Their first major breakthrough came through communication disruption. Using modified satellite systems and advanced signal interference techniques, they began sending fake transmission signals that created chaos in the alien communication networks. Zorn ships started receiving conflicting orders, creating internal confusion and mistrust. In urban centers, civilians became unexpected resistance fighters. People used everyday technology in ways the aliens couldn't predict. Drones modified, with improvised explosive devices attacked supply lines. Underground networks shared information faster than the Zorn could track, creating a fluid, unpredictable resistance movement. Military bases around the world transformed into innovation centers. Engineers worked around the clock, studying captured alien technology and finding weaknesses. They discovered that the Zorn's advanced systems had unexpected vulnerabilities, complex networks that could be disrupted by surprisingly simple interventions. A group of young programmers in Tokyo developed a virus that could penetrate alien communication systems. They worked in shifts, creating complex algorithms that would slowly undermine the Zorn's technological superiority. Each line of code was a weapon, each algorithm a potential breakthrough. The Zorn's initial strategy had been based on previous planetary conquests. They expected quick surrender, followed by systematic occupation, but humans refused to follow expected patterns. Every time the aliens thought they had control, something unexpected would happen. Satellite networks became battlegrounds of information warfare. Human teams intercepted and manipulated alien communication channels, creating false reports and spreading misinformation. The Zorn's rigid military structure made them vulnerable to psychological tactics that more flexible civilizations might have used. In mountain regions and dense urban environments, small resistance groups developed guerrilla-style tactics. They used the terrain to their advantage, attacking alien supply lines and communication points. Military vehicles were modified with improvised weapons, turning civilian transportation into potential combat units. Scientists worked on understanding alien technology at an unprecedented speed. What would have taken years was now being accomplished in weeks. Every captured piece of alien equipment became a learning opportunity, a chance to understand and potentially counter their advanced systems. The global response was unlike anything the Zorn had encountered. Nations that previously competed now shared information freely. Military strategies were developed through international collaboration, creating a united front that the aliens had not anticipated. Hoon Kim's team discovered that the Zorn's technological superiority came with a significant weakness, a highly structured communication system that left little room for adaptation. By introducing small but consistent disruptions, they could create significant strategic advantages. Civilian networks became as important as military communications. Social media platforms were transformed into intelligence-sharing platforms. People reported alien movements, shared survival strategies, and coordinated resistance efforts faster than traditional communication channels. The psychological impact was significant. Where other civilizations had quickly surrendered, humans showed an unbreakable spirit of resistance. Each small victory was broadcast globally, raising morale and showing that defeat was not inevitable. Underground research facilities became the new front lines. Engineers worked on developing weapons and defense systems that could counter alien technology. Every captured piece of equipment was studied, reverse-engineered, and potentially transformed into a weapon. As weeks passed, the Zorn began to realize that this planetary conquest would be different. The humans were not just resisting, they were actively fighting back using every resource available to them. The resistance was just beginning, and humanity was proving to be an opponent far more complex and dangerous than the Zorn had ever imagined. SEO Young Lee worked tirelessly in the underground research facility, her fingers moving rapidly across holographic displays. The room buzzed with nervous energy, filled with the brightest minds humanity could assemble. Their mission was simple yet impossible: develop technology that could challenge the alien invaders. The facility was hidden deep beneath a mountain range, protected from alien scanning technologies. Hundreds of scientists worked in shifts, analyzing every piece of captured Zorn technology. Each fragment was a potential key to survival, each circuit a possible weapon against the overwhelming alien force. Breakthrough came unexpectedly during a late-night experiment. SEO Young discovered a unique weakness in the alien plasma technology. Their advanced energy systems had a critical vulnerability. a micro-frequency that could potentially destabilize entire weapon platforms. Military leaders gathered around her presentation, watching as she demonstrated how a small modification could transform human weapons into something the Zorn never anticipated. The plasma cannon prototype sat in the center of the room, looking deceptively simple, yet holding the potential to change everything. The first test came during the Battle of Pacific Rim. A small human fleet equipped with the modified weapons faced a massive Zorn battle group. Nobody expected much. The odds seemed impossible, a few modified ships against an overwhelming alien force. The battle lasted less than 30 minutes. Modified plasma weapons tore through alien ships with unprecedented efficiency. Each shot carried a carefully designed frequency that disrupted alien energy systems. Entire battle groups disappeared in brilliant explosions, creating a moment of absolute shock. Communication networks exploded with the news. For the first time, humans had not just defended themselves, they had decisively defeated a significant Zorn military formation. The psychological impact was enormous. Hope began to spread across the planet. Scientists worked around the clock, building on the initial breakthrough. They discovered that the Zorn's technological superiority came with unexpected limitations. Their complex systems were actually vulnerable to simple, creative interventions. Reverse engineering became an art form. Every captured alien device was carefully studied, dismantled and understood. What would have taken years in normal circumstances was now accomplished in weeks. Collaboration between research teams around the world created a rapid innovation cycle. Military engineers began modifying existing technologies. Drones were transformed into sophisticated communication disruptors. Satellite networks became weapons of psychological warfare. Each technological adaptation brought humans closer to matching alien capabilities. The Zorn began to realize that this planetary conquest was different. Humans were not just resisting. They were actively learning, adapting, and fighting back. With unprecedented speed and creativity, SEO Young's team developed additional technological solutions. They created jamming technologies that could temporarily disable alien communication systems. Stealth technologies were improved, allowing human forces to move undetected by alien scanning equipment. One of the most significant breakthroughs came in energy weapon development. By understanding the fundamental principles of the Zorn's plasma technology, human engineers developed more efficient and powerful energy weapons. Each weapon was a testament to human ingenuity. Global research facilities shared information at an unprecedented rate. What one team discovered was immediately shared with others, creating a collaborative defense network that the Zorn could not comprehend. The rigid alien military structure could not match human flexibility. The technological edge was becoming clear. Humans were not just defending themselves, they were learning to fight on their own terms. Each captured piece of technology became a learning opportunity, each battle a chance to understand and overcome the alien threat. As the research continued, a new understanding emerged. Technology was not just about advanced systems, but about creativity, adaptability, and the human spirit of innovation. The Zorn had advanced weapons, but humans had something more powerful: the ability to imagine, create, and overcome. The technological war had begun, and humanity was proving to be a formidable opponent. The world had changed. Where borders once divided nations, now a single purpose united humanity. The alien invasion had transformed global politics overnight, creating a level of collaboration never seen before in human history. In Geneva, representatives from every continent gathered in a heavily secured underground conference center. Military, leaders, scientists, and diplomats worked together, sharing information that would have been classified top secret just months earlier. Jay Park stood at the center of the meeting, presenting the latest technological developments and resistance strategies. Nations that once competed now shared every piece of intelligence, every technological breakthrough. The Zorn had expected to find a divided planet. Instead, they faced a unified human resistance. Communication networks became the new battleground. Social media platforms, once used for sharing personal moments, now served as global intelligence networks. People from different countries shared alien movement patterns, local resistance strategies, and survival techniques. Young volunteers became critical information gatherers. Students in Tokyo would track alien communications, while researchers in Buenos Aires analyzed captured technology. People who had never met worked together as if they were a single organism, united by the simple goal of survival. Military resources were pooled like never before. Countries shared weapon technologies, research facilities, and strategic locations. A military base in South Korea might house scientists from Brazil, Canada, and Nigeria, all working on a single mission. Diplomatic channels opened with other civilizations previously conquered by the Zorn. These races, long defeated and hopeless, saw humanity's resistance as a beacon of hope. Intelligence about alien weaknesses began to flow from multiple sources. Underground resistance movements in occupied territories started coordinating their efforts. What began as small, isolated groups became a global network of information exchange. Every piece of information became a potential weapon against the alien invaders. Scientists developed a global communication protocol that could work even if traditional networks were destroyed. Satellite systems were modified to create redundant communication paths. The human network became something the Zorn couldn't easily understand or destroy. Economic systems transformed. Industries that once competed now worked together. Technology companies shared research, manufacturing facilities were converted to war production, and global resources were redirected toward survival. Medical researchers from different countries collaborated on treatments for potential alien biological weapons. Universities opened their research facilities for military and scientific collaboration. Education became a critical part of the resistance strategy. The psychological impact was profound. People who had once been divided by language, culture, and political differences now saw themselves as part of a single human team. The alien invasion had done what decades of diplomacy could not: create true global unity. Military training programs became international. Soldiers from different countries trained together, sharing tactics and techniques. What worked in urban warfare in one region was quickly adapted and shared globally. Global communication platforms became more than just information networks. They were platforms of hope, showing people that resistance was possible. Every small victory was shared. Every technological breakthrough celebrated as a collective human achievement. Resource allocation became a global decision. Countries with agricultural capabilities supported those with manufacturing strengths. Energy resources were shared. Transportation networks were coordinated, and every human skill became part of the collective defense. The Zorn had expected a quick planetary conquest. Instead, they found a planet transforming itself. Humanity was no longer a collection of individual nations. It had become a single unified force. Young people became critical to the resistance. Their technological skills, adaptability, and global communication abilities made them unexpected weapons against the alien invasion. Social media became a tool of global coordination and resistance. As weeks passed, the human collaborative network grew stronger. Each day brought new innovations, new strategies, and a growing sense that victory was possible. The rigid, hierarchical Zorn system could not match human creativity and flexibility. The global unity was more than a military strategy. It was a fundamental transformation of human potential. The alien invasion had revealed something profound about humanity. When faced with an existential threat, they could truly come together. That resistance was no longer just a fight for survival. It had become a statement about human potential, creativity, and the power of collective action. The final battle began without warning. Humanity's modified fleet rose from hidden bases around the planet, each ship carrying the hopes of billions. J. Park stood on the command bridge, watching the tactical displays with calm determination. Zorn commanders believed this would be their final conquest. They had no idea how wrong they would be. Decades of conquering civilizations had made them overconfident, unable to see the fundamental strength of human adaptation. The first wave of attacks came from unexpected directions. Modified satellites became weapon platforms. Communication networks transformed into coordinated attack systems. Every piece of human technology became a potential weapon against the alien invasion. Global military teams had spent months preparing for this moment. They understood that conventional warfare would fail. Instead, they developed strategies that attacked the Zorn's fundamental weaknesses, their rigid communication systems and hierarchical command structure. SEO Young Lee's technological innovations played a critical role. The plasma weapon modifications developed months earlier now became the primary offensive strategy. Each human ship carried weapons that could penetrate alien defenses in ways never before possible. The battle moved across multiple fronts. Space became a complex battlefield where human creativity challenged alien technological superiority. Small, adaptable human ships moved with unexpected agility, confusing alien targeting systems. Communication channels erupted with coordinated attacks. While one group of ships engaged alien battle groups, another team would simultaneously disrupt communication networks. The Zorn found themselves fighting an enemy that didn't follow any expected battle patterns. Underground resistance movements on occupied territories launched simultaneous attacks. Every captured city became a potential battleground. Civilians who had been preparing for months now became active resistance fighters. Global communication networks showed the unfolding battle. People watched as humanity fought back, their collective hope transforming into active resistance. What seemed impossible months ago was now becoming reality. The Zorn leadership began to realize something fundamental had changed. This was not like their previous planetary conquests. Humans were not just fighting. They were systematically dismantling the alien invasion strategy. Technological innovations became weapons of psychological warfare. Captured alien communication channels were filled with false information. The Zorn command structure began to collapse from internal confusion. Military strategists had prepared for years. Every potential scenario had been analyzed, every weakness studied. The rigid alien military system couldn't adapt to human unpredictability. Space became a complex chessboard where human creativity challenged technological superiority. Small ships moved with unexpected precision, attacking alien systems in ways that defied conventional warfare strategies. J. Park's final communication to the alien command was simple and direct. "We are humanity. We do not surrender." The Zorn. Confederacy's invasion began to crumble. Their perfect military strategy fell apart under the weight of human determination. What they considered a simple planetary conquest had transformed into their most significant defeat. Global celebration began even before the final victory. People in cities around the world watched communication networks, seeing humanity's collective resistance achieve the impossible. The alien invasion was being defeated. Scientific teams continued to develop new technologies even during the final battle. Each moment was an opportunity for innovation, each attack a chance to learn and improve. The human resistance had become more than a military operation. It was a global collaborative effort. The final stages of the battle saw the Zorn leadership completely confused. Their communication networks collapsed, their attack formations disintegrated. Humanity had not just defended itself, it had completely transformed the nature of planetary defense. As the last alien ships were defeated, a new understanding emerged. This was not just a military victory. It was a statement about human potential, about the power of global collaboration, about the strength that comes from unity. J. Park watched the final tactical displays, understanding that this was more than a battle. This was a moment that would define human history forever. The alien invasion had revealed something profound about humanity, its ability to adapt, to unite, and to overcome seemingly impossible challenges. The unexpected victory was complete. Humanity had not just survived, it had transformed itself. In the process, Anjas moved across communication panels. He began coordinating global defense protocols, understanding that traditional military strategies would be useless. They needed something different, something unexpected. The alien ships continued their slow, menacing approach. Their weapon systems hummed with potential destruction, ready to enforce their will upon a planet they considered just another conquest. Little did they know, humans were about to show them something they had never encountered in their centuries: of galactic domination, an unbreakable spirit of resistance. As the first alien ships began their initial approach, a strange calm settled over Earth. Not a calm of surrender, but a calm of preparation, of determination, of a species ready to fight for its existence. The first contact was about to begin, and humanity would make sure it would be remembered.